Hey guys, Venomous here, and I got a brand new OTGT for you. This time I'm talking about Super Mario 64 DS for the Nintendo DS. Now recently I just got a hold of a bunch of Nintendo DS games that I actually wanted to try out that I never had a chance to when they were released in the past and they first came out for the Nintendo DS. So now I actually have a chance to, so you could probably see a whole bunch of videos on Nintendo DS games that, might be somewhat old, but ones I did want to touch up upon. And Super Mario 64 DS was one of those games. We all know Super Mario 64 was probably one of the most revolutionary titles in the Mario franchise. When the Nintendo 64 came out, it was so revolutionary in the way that we see how a platformer is done. A 3D platformer for that matter, that pretty much it's right up there with The Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time, if not above Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time, because I'm pretty sure if there was no Super Mario 64, there would be no Ocarina of Time. But that's a whole nother discussion and a whole nother debate. What's so good about the remake, or not I guess you could say a remake or a reimagining of Super Mario 64 DS. What's cool is, and what I find is interesting, is that yes, while it is the same game essentially with the same type of levels all over the place, there's a bunch of new different goodies that not only take advantage of the Nintendo DS's stylus, the touchscreen and stuff, but there's other characters that you're gaining control of besides the traditional Mario. When you first boot up the game, you're not playing as Mario, you're playing as Yoshi, and you actually have to help Mario and the rest of his friends kind of get freed from Bowser's control. It adds a whole nother flair into the actual franchise, or into the actual game, I should say, excuse me. When you first see Mario and he kind of comes out of his actual pipe, besides him, Luigi and Wario actually show up, and they're all kind of scrambling around. I guess, Nintendo's little joke of kind of getting into the spotlight, and then something happens, and they all kind of get captured, and then Yoshi wakes up out of nowhere and actually looks around, and he needs to help find Mario and the rest of his friends. So it's pretty cool. So when you actually do find the different characters, when you finally do find Mario, Luigi, and Wario, there are different points where you actually get the opportunity to take control of them. Sometimes when you're playing as someone like Yoshi or whoever, you actually have the ability to find these different little kind of red kind of boxes or whatever corresponding color to the character, whether it be red, purple, or green. You actually have this little hat that kind of pops out of it, and pretty much you put on the hat and you become that specific character, if you have to do any sort of like specific things and whatnot. But either way, it's really good because you could actually go back and actually try out the different levels using any one of the different characters, any one of the 4 characters that they have in the game, which is pretty cool. So it's not just the Mario 64 that we all know. It's the Mario 64 that we all know and love with an extra flair added to it. So besides that, when you're actually running around and stuff, you plays essentially like Mario 64. It's a little bit different from the actual how the Nintendo 64 controller used to be, because it takes a little getting used to with the button layout, because your A button is your jump, your X button is your run, and your B button is kind of like your special ability. If, like, for example, Mario's special ability would be to punch and kick things. Same thing with Luigi, same thing with Wario essentially, but Yoshi will be able to actually kind of throw his tongue out and suck up enemies and do all kinds of different stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. And then your shoulder buttons, the left shoulder button allows you to help you with the directionals, manipulate the camera, and the right shoulder button allows you to do his kind of butt stomp thing, which originally a Nintendo 64 controller was hitting Z when you do a jump or when you're falling. That allows you to kind of like flip and then do a butt stomp. All the characters have that pretty much. All the characters' main button layouts and the controls are pretty much the same. It's just that one button that allows them to do different things. So it's pretty cool, it's pretty interesting. It's straight up Mario like you come to expect. The story is essentially the same. There's no changes to it. It's just small little gameplay elements that are changed, over the course of time. What also is interesting, why I mentioned the stylus and the touchscreen earlier, is because there's this little section in the castle that once you get a certain amount of stars and stuff, you actually have to find these keys that help you unlock different mini games that you could use to play with the touchscreen. Now, I haven't had a chance to actually mess around with them and stuff, so I can't really tell you exactly, how good they are, but I'm pretty sure they're like almost in every other Mario game that's been on the DS, these little mini games that allow you to kind of just waste time and just goof around or whatnot. Now, I don't think it's multiplayer. I think it's only just single player, but it's pretty cool to mess around and play with any one of those types of Mario mini games, as a nice little like sidetrack from the main adventure. overall, it's a great DS game. You know, I was really surprised that they actually added so much extra stuff, you know, as far as like characters and different gameplay elements to the original game, because they could have just as easily just cashed in and just thrown Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo DS and pretty much not add anything to it, but they did, which was really cool. So I was really happy to see that because it gave me that really good sense of nostalgia with some added bonus, and I was really happy for that. Anyway, that's just my comments on Super Mario 64 DS for the Nintendo DS. Leave your comments and video responses, guys. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think, if you enjoyed this game or not. If you think the original's better than this one or this one's better than the original, put it on there. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Venomous is out, and that was only the goddamn truth. Take it easy, everybody.